I'm Kristee, here with the Melton City Council Learning Directory. We're going to be doing some mat work Pilates today. All you'll need is a bit of open space, a mat, and a block which we will be using later on in the class. If you don't have a yoga block available, you can use a cereal box, a pillow, or a rolled up towel. Let's get started. We're going to start with some warm-ups. So we're going to have one leg and extend it out towards the side of the room at about a 45-degree angle. Our other leg is going to bend in. If your foot's touching that leg, that's fine, or if you want a bit more space for the hips, you can too. I want you to make sure you're sitting on both sit bones nice and comfortably with a nice straight spine. This is called our spiral stretch. We're going to take a big breath in, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, turn our body towards our bent leg, and then we're going to reach our arms over towards our straight leg. Take it as far down as feels comfortable. Should be getting a nice little stretch through the side body here. You might be getting a stretch underneath the leg as well. If you want to, and if your arms are a bit sore up here, you can take your hand down onto the leg. This top hand can stay put, or you can take it behind your back with the palm facing out so the shoulder stays nice and open. Take a few moments here. You might want to breathe out and sink just a little bit deeper. If you're new to Pilates, please make sure you go at your own pace today. If I ever say do 8 more and you feel like you can only do 6 more, that's okay too. I'm not there, I can't see. You're on the computer. Slowly bringing it out, we're going to take it straight into our mermaid stretch. So this straight leg is going to bend behind us and point towards the back of the room. Whichever way our toes are facing, that's our mermaid tail. That's the way we want to reach. So we're going to place our hand down in the direction of our toes and then reach our other hand over. This time our body is going to stay facing the front of the room. If you want to get a deeper stretch, you can bend that elbow down to the ground, or you can slide that hand further away. For this one, you're going to still get that stretch through the side body, but you might also get a bit of a stretch through the top of the thigh of the leg that's moving backward. Take a few more breaths here, get a nice little stretch. You can see I'm kind of lifting and then sinking a little bit into this. If that feels comfortable for you, you can do that too. If it's starting to feel uncomfortable for your knee, you can come out a bit earlier, but take a few more breaths here. And then slowly coming out. Let's take it to the other side. So our spiral stretch, we're going to straighten one leg out to the side. I forgot to say before, point your toe, it looks nice. We're going to bend that other leg, take a big breath in, reach up nice and tall, turn towards the bent leg, and then once again reach towards the straight leg, doing any of those modifications that you needed to on the other side. On this side, if it still feels good. Making sure you've got both of those sit bones pressing down into the mat so you're not lifting up and tipping over. We want to still keep that leg searching for the floor. You can do any of those modifications, so the hand down or hand behind your back if it feels good. You might use that breath to sink that little bit deeper. A nice little stretch here through the side body. Keep that body pointed towards that knee. And then slowly bringing it back up. Mermaid stretch. We're going to take that leg behind us. Mermaid tail, placing your hand down, big breath in, and then reach over. Nice little stretch here. Once again, you can bend that elbow down or stretch that hand further away for a deeper stretch. You might find some differences across the sides too. So maybe the mermaid stretch on the other side of the body was really comfortable, and then this side it's feeling a little bit tight and restricted. Listen to that. Don't go as deep on this side if it's not feeling comfortable already. And then slowly bringing it out. We're going to bring both of our legs towards one another, towards one side of the mat. For Pilates, we always want to make sure our knees and our feet are about hip width distance apart, so they're not squeezing together. We've got a little bit of space there for things to move. We're going to reach our hands in between the legs and either grab onto your elbows or grab onto your wrists, tuck your chin in towards your chest, and then push those shoulder blades back with those hands still holding on together. This is called our armchair stretch. You're going to get a nice little stretch in between the shoulder blades and along the neck. And the good thing with this one is you can always push back a little bit more for a deeper stretch, or you can release out of it slightly for a lighter stretch. And then slowly bringing it back up. We're going to lay down onto our back, still keeping those knees bent. We're going to do a little stretch for our glutes here now. So we're going to step those feet in a little bit closer so that the feet are almost underneath those knees. Taking one leg, we're going to place the ankle onto the opposite knee, and then we're going to push that bent knee away to get a deeper stretch here. If you're not quite feeling enough of a stretch here, you can lift that supported leg off of the floor, lace the fingers behind the knee, and then pull in. Nice little stretch here. You should be feeling it through the bent leg, along the hip or the glute. You can push that knee away if it feels a little bit nicer and gets you a deeper stretch. And then we're going to slowly bring it down. We're going to swap our legs over and take the stretch onto the other side. Once again, you can just stay here with the foot on the floor, push that knee away, or you might like to bring it up, thread the hands underneath and pull in for a deeper stretch. So in a moment, we're going to go through what's called our Pilates Basics. If you've done Pilates before, it might be nice to still watch this for a little refresher. I'm going to go into some details about it and make sure that everyone's nice and safe at home. Slowly bringing those legs down. We're going to place those feet back down to the ground. Remember, feet and knees always hip width distance apart. We're going to connect in with our breath now. So in Pilates, our breath is a little bit different, very controlled and very focused. We're going to breathe in through our nose and then breathe out through our mouth. I like to hold onto my ribs to get started here because we want to keep the breath up quite high, like we're breathing into balloons that are in those armpits. So we're going to take a big breath in, breathe out towards the sides of the room, and then breathe out through the mouth. And then let's do that 3 more times. Big breath in. Breathing out. 2 more. And last one. Beautiful. Keeping that breath, we're going to now get into our spinal position. So in Pilates, there's 2 spinal positions. You've got your neutral spine, which you should be in right now. It's that little natural curve of the lower back. It feels quite comfortable and your back isn't fully connected with the mat. And then you've got your imprinted spine where we're going to tuck the tailbone down to flatten that lower back. So it's not lifting up the bottom, it's just a slight tuck down. We're going to connect that in with the breath now. So you're in your neutral spine. We're going to inhale, tuck the tailbone down, flatten out that lower back completely, and then exhale out through the mouth and release into your neutral spine once again. Inhale, imprinted, exhale, neutral. Inhale, imprinted, exhale, neutral. One more time. Inhale, flattening out that back, exhale to release it out. Usually we're in our neutral spine, so that nice natural curve. Whenever we have our legs up in the air though, we're going to keep our back imprinted, so flat and in connection with the mat, to keep our back nice and safe and comfortable. If your back hurts ever throughout this, please slow down, stop and check that alignment to make sure everything's in place. Well, next thing we're going to do is we're going to check on our chins. So in Pilates, we're going to be doing some little push-ups shortly and some abdominal curls and things like that. And whenever we're doing stuff, we want to make sure that our neck is feeling nice and safe. So I'd like you to imagine that someone's come over and they're poking you in the chin. A little bit rude, but it means that your chin's going to move in towards your neck. You're going to get almost a little bit of a double chin action here, and you're going to get a nice little lengthening through the back of the head. Whenever we lift our head off of the floor, it should feel comfortable. We shouldn't feel like we're straining through the sides of the neck, shouldn't feel like we're leading with our chin, because we've got that chin tucked in towards our neck. You can give that a few little goes if you'd like to. I'm going to sit up to show you the next Pilates Basics, but you can stay laying on the ground for this one. So the last of our Pilates Basics is our T-zone. Our T-zone is a very important component of Pilates because we want to make sure that we're feeling safe and comfortable starting from a controlled area. So the T-zone is like a capital T across our body. So from one hip bone to the other hip bone, and then from the base to meet, that's our capital T. It involves our transverse abdominis, which is like a big corset around our body, and our pelvic floor, which is like a big sling holding everything in. I'd like you to visualize that T shape, and then take your fingers and place it on the inside of your hip bone. There's a little squishy bit there, and then we're going to have a little laugh. Ha! And you should feel something sort of poke up and say hi to those fingers, that bit of pressure. I'd like you to get a hold of that pressure now. So you're going to inhale, draw up across and in along that T-zone, tighten through that midsection and really squeeze as if you're holding onto a wee, holding onto a fight or jumping into some really cold water. Wish it was more glamorous, but it's not. And really keep that tightness there. And as you exhale, keep it switched on. But if you switch it off a little bit, that's okay because you've got another inhale coming. Inhale, T-zone tight. Exhale. Keep it switched on. Should feel like someone could poke you there and there would be a bit of resistance. Now that you've got the hang of your T-zone, if you still need a few moments to connect in with it, you might want to pause the video, inhale and exhale a few times just to practice, but we're going to move through our first exercise. So laying nice and flat on the floor, feet hip width distance apart, inhale T-zone tight, nice neutral spine. We're going to start by pointing one toe, extending the leg and sliding it along the mat. And then we're going to slowly bring it back in towards our body on the inhale and swap sides. Exhale to extend. Inhale to draw it back into the center. And exhale, swap sides. Inhale, draw it in. So these are called our single leg slides. Nice and imaginative name, but it's pretty good because most of the names in Pilates are pretty self-explanatory. We're sliding one leg along the floor at a time. What I want you to focus on here is your alignment. So you've got that nice neutral spine. You're not feeling like you're extending and lifting that back off the floor or the chest either. We're exhaling to extend. And we're inhaling to draw it in. So in Pilates, we exhale on the effort, and that's usually the initiation. Exhale to extend, inhale, bring it back into center. Let's do 2 more on each side. Exhale to extend. We've got that nice neutral spine. Nothing else is moving. We haven't got our feet slowly inching their way in toward one another. We're going to do 1 more on each side, sorry. Exhale to extend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. And inhale. That was the last one. Let's jump straight into our next move. We're going to take one leg. We're going to exhale, take it out towards the side of the room, and then inhale, bring it back to center, swapping sides. Exhale out towards the side of the room. Inhale back to the center. These are our bent knee fallouts. Exhale out, inhale back in. Exhale out, inhale back in. So as we take our legs out to the side of the room, I want you to stop just short of where you're going to tip over. So these are our bent knee fallouts. The knees fall out to the sides of the room, but I don't want the body to fall out. So see where that happens there? We fall out to the sides, we lose all this structure. We've got our T-zone, should be nice and tight. Exhale out towards the side, inhale to come back in. I like to imagine what I call little hip headlights. So on your hips, imagine that you've got headlights that are shining up towards the ceiling. And if those hip headlights are kind of moving side to side as you move your knees, you might be taking it a bit too fast, or you might be forgetting to switch on that T-zone. So exhale out, let's do 2 more each side. Inhale back in, keep that T-zone nice and tight. Exhale out, inhale back in. 2 more, 1 on each side. Exhale out, inhale back in. Last one. Exhale out, inhale back in. Awesome. Next move, inhale T-zone tight, exhale to lift your foot up to a 90 degree, slowly bring it back down to the ground and swap sides. Exhale to lift, inhale back down. Exhale to lift, inhale back down. Guess what this one's called? It's our lift foot. No, nice and easy name to you. Exhale to lift, inhale, bring it back down. Let's do 2 more on each side once we finish this right side. Exhaling, coming to a 90 degree. Make sure you're not bringing the knees super close in. That's way more than a 90 degree. If you need to keep your alignment, you can extend out those arms, and you should just stop short of bending through the arm when you grace the knee onto the palm. Last one, exhale to lift. Inhale back down. We're going to combine that last move, our lift foot, to a lift and extend. So we're going to be inhaling T-zone tight. We're going to exhale, lift to a 90 degrees, and then we're going to try and shoot the toe towards the wall on the other side of the room, straightening out through the leg, slowly bring it back into the center to that 90 degree, and then back down to the ground, and then swap sides. So there's 4 movements here. We're going to exhale to lift. We're going to exhale to extend. We're going to inhale, bring it back to the 90 degrees, and then inhale, bring it back down. Let's keep going. Exhale to lift, exhale to extend, inhale to bring it back in, and inhale to take it back down. As you lift and then extend, the lower you bring the leg towards the ground, the more intense this is going to be. We should keep that T-zone switched on. We should have everything nice and still here, so we're not moving through the spine. We're not kind of arching and wobbling around all over the place. We're finding those 4 distinct movements. So we're hitting 1, we're hitting 2, we're hitting 3, we're hitting 4, and then we're swapping sides. Let's do 1 more on each side. Bring it in and down. Exhale. Inhale and down. Lovely. Let's take it to our abdominal curls. We're going to take the hands behind the head. Whoop, don't hit your drink bottle. Hands behind the head. We're going to place our feet hip width distance apart underneath those knees. Elbows are going to stay nice and wide. And then once again, you're going to imagine that someone's poking you in the chin to keep the neck nice and safe. I want you to keep the elbows wide here. We've just done a little bit of work. We want to air out those armpits. We're going to exhale to lift and look towards the knees, and then inhale to bring it back down. If you feel like when you lift up the T-zone is switching off, I want you to think about drawing those ribs towards the hip like someone's pinching, and keep that T-zone tight the whole time. So inhale, T-zone tight, exhale to lift, inhale to come back down, and let's continue. Exhale to lift, inhale to come back down. As you exhale lifting, if your elbows are coming into view, I want you to tell them to stay away. We want to keep those elbows nice and wide. We're not using our hands to lift ourselves up. We are using our abdomen. Exhale to lift, inhale to come back down. Keep that T-zone switched on. Exhale to lift, inhale, come back down. T-zone tight again if you need. Exhale to lift, inhale to come back down. Let's do 3 more. Exhale, lift, inhale down, and again, inhale down, last one, inhale down, beautiful. We're going to take it through our oblique curls now. So we're going to move from that middle section of the abdomen to the sides of the body now. This, I don't want you to confuse with like bicycle movements or bringing the elbows into it. Once again, we want to keep those elbows nice and wide. So we're going to inhale, tuck in through the chin if you need to, T-zone tight. Exhale to lift, look towards the outside of the thigh. Point your nose towards that area and then slowly bring it down before swapping sides. Exhale, lift and look towards the other thigh. Inhale, bring it down and continue. Exhale to lift. Inhale to bring it down. So as we lift up, we're lifting both of our shoulder blades off of the mat. There is a slight twist to one side, but we're not curling over our bodies. If you're doing that, you're taking it too far. We're going to exhale to lift. Inhale to bring it back down. T-zone tight again if you need. Exhale to lift, swap sides. Let's keep going. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, elbows staying nice and wide. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do 2 more on each side. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, inhale down, last 2, inhale down, and last one, inhale down. Oh, getting a little bit hot in this section. If you need to, give those knees a little bit of a curl in and a slight rock side to side. That's just going to loosen up the back, and you'll notice when the knees are in the T-zone feels really nice because it's switched off. That's why we don't want to bring the knees too close in some of our other moves. Now that we've got this area all nice and warm, let's take it to another level. We're going to do our bicycle legs. So I said bicycle before. I know I was preempting this. The problem is bicycle legs in Pilates doesn't look anything like a bicycle movement you might have seen in your gym classes. We're going to take our hands behind our head to keep our neck nice and supported, and this time both of our legs are going to come off the ground to what's called our tabletop position. So we're going to start by imprinting the spine, because both of our legs are coming up. Flatten out that lower back, lift up one leg at a time to our 90-degree position together, tabletop. Our knees and feet are still hip width distance apart. If when you're here you're finding that the back is starting to arch and lose contact with the mat, I'd like you to bring the feet down, set up again, T-zone tight, flat back, imprinted spine, lifting them up, and make sure it stays there, because if the back starts to arch, you might injure that back. Knees are 45 degree, just above those hips. We're going to take the hands behind the head, once again not hitting our drink bottle. We're going to inhale, T-zone tight again, look towards those legs, and then stay here with the top half of the body. The bottom half is going to be doing all the work. We're going to exhale, extend one leg, and then inhale, slowly bring it back to center and swap sides. Exhale, extend, inhale, bring it back to center. Let's continue. Exhale, extend, inhale, bring it back to center. So one leg is moving at a time. We're not moving both legs at the same time. They're both coming to meet in the middle, and then they're extending. The lower the leg goes, the more intense it's going to be. Keep that back imprinted, the back flat and in contact with the mat. Keep breathing. Exhale to extend, inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, extend, inhale, back to center. 2 more each side. Keep those elbows wide, last 2. And last one. And then slowly bring the head down, slowly bring the feet down. That was a lot of work. Let's move on. We're going to do our hundreds. So hundreds take a minute because we're going to be doing 100 beats with our hands. We're not going to be supporting our head this time, so make sure you've got that neck really tucked in, and our feet are going to return to a tabletop position, imprinting the spine, lifting up one leg at a time to our tabletop. We're going to extend our arms up towards the ceiling. You can have the hands facing in, but eventually they are going to be facing towards the floor, so it doesn't really matter too much. Inhale, T-zone tight. As we exhale and lift the arms, bring them alongside the body, lifting the head. We're going to extend those legs at the same time and point through the toes. If you want to make it a bit more intense, you can lower the legs down, but if you want to keep it nice and simple, keep those legs pointing up towards the ceiling. We're now going to inhale, T-zone tighter, and then we're going to exhale and bounce little mini basketballs alongside our body. These are our hundreds. We're going to be doing it for a minute. I'm looking at the clock, don't worry, I won't lie to you, we won't go over a minute because this one is going to start burning soon. Make sure you're still breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Keep that chin tucked in, those shoulder blades off of the mat, still bouncing those hands at the same time alongside our body. Inhale, exhale. In your own time, let's keep bouncing, we're halfway through. Inhale. Keep on going. Those mini basketballs need to keep on bouncing. We don't want them to stop. Inhale. Almost there. We've got 15 seconds left. Beautiful. Keep bouncing for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then make a big sound of relief. Slowly bring those legs down, the head down. Take a few moments, stretch those arms above the head, straighten out through those legs. Oh, that was a lot of work. I think that's enough laying on our back now. We're going to roll to our side and do our side lying series. So rolling over to our side body. I'm going to just move down the mat a little bit so I don't hit my arm. So we're going to extend one arm up and underneath our head. This is where the block comes in handy if you do need it. If you're finding that you're a little bit sore here and it's not quite feeling comfortable, you can take a block under here and bring the arm out in front of you instead. Or you can use the block on top of the arm as well, whatever's going to work for you. I don't need it today, but if you do need it, please make sure you're feeling comfortable. We're going to bend those knees. We want our feet, our hips and our shoulders to be in one nice straight line. We're then going to push those hips away to stack them evenly. Keep our toes glued together, hands onto the hips or onto the floor for stability. We're going to inhale, T-zone tight. It should still work here. It might feel a little bit different though because we've got that gap and we're laying on our side, but make sure you're switching it on throughout this whole movement. Inhale, T-zone tight. We're going to exhale, keep the toes glued together and open through the knees. Inhale to bring them back together and let's continue. Exhale to open, inhale to close. So these are our clam ones. We're going to be doing a few clams today. As we exhale to open, we want to keep our hip headlights facing the front of the room. So make sure that when you're opening the knee, the hips aren't moving towards the ceiling or falling back through the spine. Exhale to open, inhale to close. And close. So these are our clam ones. We're going to be doing our clam ones, clams twos and clam threes today. So it's going to get a little bit annoying. You're going to be sick of hearing the word clam. Make sure you're still breathing here because this is giving us a nice controlled base for our clam twos and threes. Exhale to open, inhale to close. We're also going to be moving through our clam kickouts. So our clam kickouts are a clam and then we're going to kick out the foot. Let's exhale to open the knee. We're going to then extend the toe. Then we're going to inhale, close the knee, toe, and then close the knee. Continuing here, exhale, open, extend, close toes, and close knees. As you extend, keep the thighs still. You don't want to open and then kind of kick up like a cheerleader. We don't need to do that. We're going to open and extend, thighs staying still, close toes, and then close knees. 4 distinct movements again. Exhale to open, extend, inhale to close toe, and inhale to close knee. T-zone tight if you need. Let's do 2 more. Let's not count that one. Let's do 2 more after this. Exhale to extend, close toe, close knee. Last one. And down. Beautiful. Now that we've done our clam ones and clam one kickouts, we're going to move through our clam twos. So we're going to lift those feet ever so slightly off the ground so that they're in the midline of our body and floating here. This is also where your block may come in handy. If you have a really tight lower hip or any injury here, you can place your block underneath your feet. It is going to make things easier, so please don't do it there just to make it easier. Only do it if you need to because of an existing injury. We're going to inhale T-zone tight, keep it nice and strong. Exhale to open through the through the knees. Inhale to close. So the toes are staying glued together. This is our Clam 2, exactly like our Clam 1, except we've got our feet off the floor. Exhale to open, inhale to close. You're going to be feeling this one through the thighs, like all of our clams. You're going to be feeling it through the glutes as well. This is going to be a little bit more intense across the top of our thigh through the ITB. So you are going to be feeling it nice and quickly because we've already primed it in our Clam 1 and Clam 1 kick out. Let's do 2 more. Exhale to open, inhale to close. Exhale to open, inhale to close. I'm not going to make you do your Clam 2 kick out on this side. We're going to bring those feet down to the ground, and instead we're going to mix things up with what's called circles. So feet are on the floor again. We're going to open through the knee, extend through the toe like we did for our Clam 1. We're going to point that toe, keep the legs straight, and we're going to start to draw circles with our toes. Imagine that you've got crayons in there and you're drawing on the wall. Now, it doesn't matter what direction of your circle you're doing. If you want to stop and go in the other direction, you can. But we're going to do this just breathing in your own time. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let's do it for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bringing the toe down and the knee down. Give the top of your leg a little bit of a smack if you need to. We're going to move through our Clam 3s. So our hips are going to stay where they are, but we're going to step our toes forward so that they're coming in line with those knees. You've got a rough 90-degree angle here. You might have dropped down in your hips, so if you need to, readjust your hips so you've got that gap between the waist and the floor. And we're going to move through our Clam 3. Toes stay glued together like our Clam 1 and Clam 2. Inhale to T-zone tight. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. And close. And close. This Clam 3 is going to feel a little bit different to your Clam 1 and Clam 2. You're going to feel it right smack bang in the middle of the glute. It also might notice that your knees don't open as wide in this one. That's perfectly okay. That's just to do with some tightness of the hips and the position that we're in. Don't try and force them too far open. Let's do 3 more. Ready? 1 and 2. Lucky last. 3. Ugh, that's a lot of work. Give your legs a bit of a smack. And let's swap sides. So taking it to the other side, we don't need to take ourselves to the other side of the room. We are, like by rolling over and facing away from the screen, we're just going to take our toes to the opposite end of the mat. Extending out our arm, using our arm as a nice little pillow for the head, bending those knees. Once again, if you want your block for your head, you can bring it up here too. We're going to push those hips away, make sure we've got a little gap between the waist and the floor, and our toes, our hips and our shoulders are in a nice straight line all together. Hands can be resting on the ground or on your hip for stability. Let's take it to Clam 1 on this side. Inhale, T-zone tight. Exhale to open through the knee. Inhale to close. Inhale, close. My head's in the sun. I'm already hot, but we're going to keep going. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. So you might find that each side of your side lying series is a little bit different. The last side for me was really intense because I know that my right hip is quite tight. This side's feeling a little bit nicer. I would always recommend finding out what side is your more comfortable side. I'm not going to say better because they might change from time to time. So your more comfortable side at the moment, I would recommend starting on your least comfortable side so then you can finish on your comfortable side and then it feels great because you're finishing on a high note. Let's do 2 more of our Clam 1s. Exhale to open, inhale to close, and then take it to our Clam 1 kick outs. Open, extend, close toes, close knees. Open, extend, close toes, close knees. Exhale, exhale, inhale, and inhale. Make sure the thigh is staying put. We don't need to move it much here. Keep on going. Let's do 2 more. And lucky last. 2, Beautiful. Now that you've done those Clam 1 and Clam 1 kickouts, we're going to take it to our Clam 2. Lifting the feet ever so slightly off the floor, remembering you can place the block there if you need a bit of extra support. Refinding your gap between the waist and the floor. Your hips should be nice and even. Inhale, T-zone tight. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. We're finding that those hip headlights aren't flopping side to side. Those toes aren't moving up and down. We're keeping everything slow and controlled. Exhale, open. Inhale to close. 5 more. 1. I know, a big number. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bringing those feet back down to the ground. Take a few moments to give your leg a bit of a smack if it feels good. And we're going to move through our circles. Inhale, T-zone tight. Open through the knee. Extend through the toe. And draw your circles for me. Keeping that leg nice and straight. I know this one sucks, but if you smile, it feels better, I promise. Keep on breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You can swap directions if you want. Let's do it for another 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, goodness gracious me. Give those legs a bit of a smack. Let's move through our Clam 3. Step those feet forward so that they're in line with the knees. Readjust your hips if you need to. Inhale, T-zone tight. Toes stay glued together. Exhale, open through the knees. Inhale, close through the toes. So Clam 3, like I said before, it's going to hit a bit of a different spot. You'll notice on this side, I'm opening that knee a little bit wider because my hip isn't as restricted on this left side, so it's able to move. If your hips feel like they're more open on one side, take it to the limit, but don't go beyond that limit, and listen to your body. Keep it safe. Exhale to open, inhale to close. Let's do 4 more. 1 and 2. 3, lucky last, 4. Give those legs a smack. That's the final part of our side lying series. We're going to take it to our tummies now. So rolling over onto your tummy, we're going to be moving through some positions with our head nice and flat. This is another time our block might come in handy, so I'm just going to grab it and bring it up this end for me. If you're finding that when you're laying down flat on the floor, if the head doesn't feel comfortable here, you can use a block as a nice little bit of a shelf for the head. Because in Pilates, we want to keep the neck extended and long. So if we lift ourselves up and then look like this, we've got a little bit of a crick in our neck here. So we want to keep our head looking down to the ground at all times. If you need to watch me do a move first, please watch me first and then give it a go yourself. I'd rather that than you kind of looking to the side in this one, because then the neck won't feel comfortable. I'm going to show you what this one is first. It's called our swan preparation. I'm going to move the block out of the way. We're going to take our hands down at about a 45-degree angle with the palms pressing down into the mat. They're not going to be doing much work here though. Our feet are on the floor. You can take them about hip-width distance apart with the feet lightly pressing into the floor. Inhale, T-zone tight. It's going to feel strange here. You might need to squeeze through the glutes as well. We're then going to exhale, lift our chest off the mat, still looking down towards the ground. Squeeze through that lower back and then slowly bring it back down to the ground. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. So use that exhale like a bit of a propeller up. Inhale down. So as you exhale lifting, the hands aren't doing any work here. They're not pushing into the floor to lift you up. You're using your back muscles to lift you up here. You're pressing through those feet. And then you're using that strength and that squeeze through the glutes and through that T-zone as well to find your movement here. If you'd like to make it a bit more intense, you can bring those hands up at the same time. So you're going to exhale, lift the hands, and then slowly bring it down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale down, 2 more. Lucky last one. Inhale down. Let's push back to a child's pose. Just take a few moments rest here. Rounding out through the spine, taking the hips towards the heels. Bringing the head down to the ground, reaching forward with those hands. Take a few moments here just to rest. Beautiful. Slowly coming out. We're going to do another move on our tummy. This time, we're going to be taking our hands above our head. So if you need that block underneath you, you can take that block underneath the forehead. If you want to keep the head in contact with the mat, you can do that too. There's two options, either head in contact with the mat or head lifting or head under a block. Three options actually. Take those hands above the head, stretching towards the other side of the room with the hands nice and flat into the floor. We're going to take our head down to the ground just to start, squeeze through our glutes and press our feet lightly into the mat once again. And then we're going to inhale T-zone tight. We're going to exhale, lift through the hands. You can keep the head down here too if you want, or you can lift the head up with the hands, squeezing through that back. We're then going to take one hand at a time and bounce little opposite basketballs, not like our hundreds, one at a time. This is called our freestyle. Kind of like the swimming move, but kind of not really. Keep on breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Keeping the head looking down. This is quite an intense move. We're going to do it here for another 15 seconds. Still breathing, one hand at a time. Make sure you're not touching the floor with those hands for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a few moments rest here. We're going to do our freestyle legs as well. So we're going to take our hands underneath our head, use our palm as a nice little pillow for the head. We're going to squeeze through the glutes. We're going to lift one leg up at a time, inhale T-zone tight, and then we're going to bounce one leg up at a time, keeping the legs nice and straight. So we're not moving through the knees, we're moving through the hips. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're not going to do as long for this one because we just did our legs before. So let's do it for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a few moments rest here. Push back to your child's pose. We're done on our tummies now, but we've got one more move to go. Almost finished. Or maybe I'm lying, we might have two more moves. Take a few moments rest here in child's pose, and then we're going to slowly bring ourselves up to a tabletop position, yoga tabletop this time. So we're we're on all fours. So we've got our hands directly underneath our shoulders. We've got our hips over the tops of our knees. We should feel quite comfortable here. If your wrists aren't feeling comfortable, you can take the hands into fists instead with the thumbs facing forward. We're going to be doing our Pilates push-ups. So our Pilates push-ups are worse than any other push-up you've ever seen. I promise you, I'm very sorry, but we've got to finish strong. So for our Pilates push-ups, you have two options: to do it on the knees or to do it on our toes. If you're going to be doing it on the knees, I would recommend taking it to your toes first and then letting the knees drop where they drop, because that's pretty much the perfect position for you. If you are going to take it onto the toes, you want to make sure that you're feeling nice and strong here. You're not dropping through those hips. You're keeping the hips in line with the body. I'm going to take it down to my knees today just to show you some different variations. We're going to inhale down 1, inhale down 2, inhale down 3, and then exhale to push up. I know, a lot was happening here. Let's break it down. Inhale, T-zone tight, keeping our body nice and strong. We're going to lead through the chest, bring our elbows to the sides of the body. Take it down just one little bit. Take it down another little bit on another inhale. Take it down one last little bit on another inhale, and then exhale. Propel yourself upward. Inhale down 1, inhale down 2, inhale down 3, exhale to push up. Make sure the elbows aren't coming to the sides of the room. You want to keep them in towards the body. Let's keep going. 2 and 3 and up. Inhale, 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 and to push up. Let's do 3 more. 2, 3 and up. 1, 2, 3 and up. Take it down as low as you want. 2, 3 and up. One more, just because we can. 2, 3 and up. That's enough. Take it back to your child's pose. Well done, everyone. I wasn't lying before. We only had one move left to go. Let's give ourselves a bit of a stretch out. Whew. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm. I certainly am, but like I said, I'm in the sun. I told you I was going to kick my drink bottle once again. Slowly bring the knee in towards the body, the foot towards the other hand. Slide the back leg away to drop those hips down. This is our one-legged pigeon pose or our supine gluteal stretch. We're going to bring ourselves down to our elbows, or if you want to, you can extend those arms out in front. Take a few moments here. If this is feeling really good, you can give yourself a little wiggle side to side. Finding that nice little space for you after all of those clams we did today. Well done, everyone. If that was your first ever Pilates class, I probably worked you pretty hard. Hopefully you were able to keep up. Sorry if you did have to pause and slow things down. Hopefully we'll be back to normal classes soon. Slowly bringing yourself up, pushing that bent leg away. Give it a shimmy, give it a shake. Swap sides, extending the leg, knee towards the same hand, foot towards the opposite hand. Slide the back leg away, dropping those hips down. Once again, down onto your elbows or extending those arms. Nice little stretch here. And give yourself a little shake side to side if it feels good. You can return to your normal breathing if your Pilates breathing is a bit too hard. Hopefully you're feeling that we worked the whole body. We did spend more time on the abdomen and on those legs than we did on our upper body, but that's okay. Every Pilates class is a little bit different. We are going to slowly come up onto our knees. We're going to take one leg and bring it forward like a lunge, but we're not going to sink into this one. We want to keep our hip in line with our knee. Hands onto those hips. We're going to tuck the tailbone down, so like we're imprinting the spine and kind of thrusting forward a little bit. You should get a nice little stretch through the front of the back thigh. If you want to sink into it a bit, you can slightly lunge forward. You don't need to go too far though. With that tailbone tucked, it should feel nice and strong. And then slowly releasing out, swapping sides, knee down, other knee coming up, hands onto those hips, hip in line with back knee, tuck the tailbone down, nice stretch through the thigh. You can lunge slightly forward if it helps. Beautiful. Slowly untucking that tailbone. We're going to come up to a standing position now. So coming up to our standing position, we're going to do a few little movements here for the shoulders. So just start by rolling the shoulders back. You might want to slightly bend your knees with it as you do, and then roll those shoulders forward. We're going to take our head over to the side. Just going to keep those knees moving, or you can sway side to side through the hips if it feels good. Swapping sides through the head. And then slowly taking it through our final stretch, which is our roll down stretch or our ragdoll. So knees are going to be bending slightly, feet are going to be nice and wide. We're going to imagine that someone's going to put a heavy rock on our head and it's slowly dragging us down. Let those arms become loose. Let yourself roll down all the way. You don't have to look at the screen right now. Just let yourself really sink into this one. Once you're fully down to the ground, you might want to sway side to side. You should be letting that neck fully let go as well. So looking at your own thighs rather than at the floor. Arms are swaying. Feeling that nice little swing side to side. And then we're going to slowly come back into the middle, keeping those knees bent. Coming up slowly, one vertebra at a time, leaving the head and neck for last. And once you come to the top, we're going to bring our elbows wide, hands in close, feet and knees loose. Give yourself a little swing side to side. Slowly coming back into the middle. Take a big breath in, reach those arms up. Exhale out. And again, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me today. Give yourself a round of applause. Pilates is hard work. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. My name was Kristee and I had lots of fun doing Pilates with you today.